Well, this has to be probably the least techie tech corner we've ever had. I mean, normally we've got, electronical stuff and lasers and lights and flashing buttons and all that sort of stuff. Today, we have a little, cardboard card in the sleeve here, about the size of a credit card, and that's it. This is the X-Rite Color Eye, but it's deceiving because this thing is really cool, and I'll tell you what the problem is here that they're addressing. So, if you've ever done any DIY, home decorating, or maybe you have a spouse who is a home interior designer, and you need to match a color. So let's say you have a brand new couch, and you want to match, the paint on the wall, and the lampshades and accessories. You want to match them. Now, if you're lucky enough, you've got like maybe a fabric swatch, or maybe you can take an entire cushion, maybe run it down to Home Depot and start pulling paint swatches off the paint rack there and trying to find a matching color. And then maybe you can go down to the lampshade aisle and hold your couch up to different color lampshades and try to match it. And that's all well and good if you actually have something that you can take to the store. Suppose it's too big to take to the store. Or suppose you're doing your shopping online. And this is really where this product comes in. Anybody who has shopped for some sort of color object online and expected to get in Amazon, open the box and pull out something that looked like the color that you saw online, you know that most of the time you are grossly disappointed, because the color you see on your browser or your mobile app is rarely the color of the actual object, just because of differences in cameras, differences in browsers, differences in the software that makes the website. Colors can be all over the place, and this is what this product addresses. And I'll show you how it works. If we come over here to the gauge cam, so what we have here is simply a printed card. It's got all sorts of color swatches on there, and it's got also some that are reflective. You can see in the middle there kind of these ones that are reflecty. And when these are printed, X-Rite also runs them through a spectrophotometer and measures each of these colors, because a printing process itself is not accurate. So they can remeasure this, and then they can calibrate the card and store that calibration information on this 2D barcode, on a 2D code on the back of the card. This, coupled with your smartphone, will calibrate the smartphone and turn your smartphone into an accurate color measuring device. So how would you use this? Well, let's step through it. So first of all, I would open up my app on my smartphone. This happens to be an iPhone 7 right here. Thanks to Chris Smith for loaning us this. So we'll measure the 2D code. It immediately, as soon as it came into view, it checked the box, said everything was okay. Now we're ready to start measuring. So let's flip this card over. And all we have to do now is line the card up in the little box there. It'll take a picture with flash, and it will take a picture without flash. And it will do its little crunching in the background there. And we come up with the match. So this is a match for the shirt. Now, in the standalone Color Eye app, what I can do is I can go through and I can pick out, say, a paint brand. So I got a number of Behr, we got some Benjamin Moore, let's see, Sherwin-Williams. We also have some fashion designer and cosmetics companies in here. But I'm just gonna pick a Behr paint color. So this gives me the Behr paint color right here that is the closest match to this piece of fabric. So now I just order this paint color. I could go down to Home Depot and pick out that paint, and I would know that it matches. Let me show this once again. Let's use something a little bit different color. We're going to measure this kind of semi-shiny piece of plastic here. We're going to do that again, and same thing. Goes in there, takes a picture with flash, takes a picture without flash, and comes up and gives me my match. Now, this is a standalone app. It's kind of for demo purposes only, and I'll get to how the app would really work for a vendor. But notice that it's not only just giving me the best matches, it's also giving me the complement. If you're a color designer, a lot of times what you're looking for is complementary colors. You're looking for things called triadics. These are all color combinations that look good together, either because they're contrasty or because they're similar. Near neighbors, far neighbors. These are all, if you're a color designer, designer, you're familiar with these. So it not only gives you the match, it also gives you the colors that work well with it. Now, how would you actually use this? Well, as a vendor, what's going to happen is the vendors are going to work with X-Rite. We come back to the wide shot here. The vendors are going to work with X-Rite to integrate the Color Eye into their online mobile apps. So let's say we have Daisy's Decor store, right? So Daisy Decor would have an app, a mobile app, and in that app, the Color Eye would be embedded. The software would be embedded just like we saw here. So with your mobile phone, you might go out to Daisy's Decor and you would bring up the app, and part of that app might be color matching, right? You know, and so you would do the same thing that I just showed you here, except it's built into her app. And what would happen is once it did that color matching, it would show you everything in her store that matched that color. So it might show you all of her fabrics that match, all of the paints that match, lampshades, all the accessories. Everything in her store that matched that color could then show up. Now, what's this do? This means that you can order from Daisy's Decor and know that the color you get is going to match the color that you sent them, because that's already been handled by the phone and what's going on at Daisy's Decor. Now, this means that Daisy's Decor is going to get fewer returns because of bad color matches. It's also going to draw more customers because people know that they can trust something they get from Daisy's Decor as opposed to Frank's Fashion Expalooza that doesn't do that sort of thing. So they know that they can trust that. Now, in order for this to work, there's a couple things that are necessary. First of all, the store itself has to have all of their products measured. Now, sometimes some of this stuff, some manufacturers of colors or products that have color have that information available for the vendor. But if they don't, there's a lot of tools out there. X-Rite makes a tool called the Capture. It's like a $650 color measurement tool. And as part of inventory, you could be measuring these products as they come in, storing that color information in the online store. And over time, you would build up this database of colors. That's on the vendor side. On the client side and the customer side, there's only certain phones that this works with right now. So currently the Color Eye is supported by the iPhone SE, the S6, S6 Plus, 7 Plus, the Android Nexus 5, and the Samsung Galaxy S6, S6 Edge, S7, S7 Edge, S7 Active. And there are also more devices that are being rolled out. So as long as you have one of those phones, you can do this right now. Now, this product isn't fully rolled out. X-Rite is currently working with 50 or more vendors right now to integrate this into their online stores and their offerings. And then for the customer, all that would happen is you would go to that store, whether it's a brick and mortar store, they might be handing out these cards or selling them for, you know, a few bucks. Literally a couple bucks, $2 or $3, they're just cardboard, right? Or you might be able to order them from an online store. But once you had it, it's always going to work, right? It's going to work for any store. It's just a calibration card with the calibration information stored on it. So again, I think this is a fantastic product for consumers and for vendors, just to tighten that relationship, particularly with online buying. So if you're interested in this, it's called the X-Rite Color Eye, Color-I. Be sure to put the dash in there. There is another Color Eye product by X-Rite, which isn't this one. And we also have a link to it out underneath our player page. You can go out there and get information from it. And if you want to get a demo of this, I suggest you contact X-Rite and see if they can set you up. It really is a fascinating product. And thanks again for the folks at X-Rite working with me on this. There's a lot of information I had to switch back and forth with them in order to understand the product fully. So appreciate it, guys. Thanks. And Mike.
you